Good evening, ladies and gents, and welcome to another Q8 Pilot stream. It is 2100 hours local time, 1800 Zulu time for our live stream today. And today, again, I am excited, just like the very first time we did the first look review of the Piper Comanche by A2A with their brand new Accu-Sim version 2. Welcome to the live stream, ladies and gents. Rand Cooley, James. Hello, James. Welcome, Alex. And we have Jet Kit today, 1230. Welcome aboard, my friend. Stan, hello, Stan. You know, Stan, every time I hear the word Texas, I remember you, my friend. I don't remember FS Expo, but I remember you. James, how are you doing? Captain USA, Drishal. Ryan, how are you doing, my friend? Rand, Felipe, Albuquerque, welcome aboard. And we have also Alex, Steve. Hello, Steve. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you guys with us this evening. And I want to do a shout out to Scott Humphreys from Humphreys Aviation for joining the Q8 Pilot Channel as a private pilot. He subscribed for the private pilot membership earlier today. Scott, if you are watching, thank you very much, sir, for your support for the channel. I really appreciate it. For those of you who do not know who Scott Humphreys is, he is the world-class pilot that I flew with in Houston, Texas. We flew the Bonanza, which is owned by Humphreys Aviation, and if you haven't watched the video, it is on the channel, and you can go and take a look at the real-world experience flying the Bonanza. Vincent, welcome. Paul, hello, Paul. Gaber, welcome, guys. Thank you very much for your support, being members of the channel. What we're going to be doing today, folks, is something a little bit different. So we've seen, of course, a plethora of content on YouTube and Twitch of the A2A Comanche, and that is, of course, testament to the excitement of the flight sim community for having such high fidelity general aviation aircraft for flight simulation, and particularly for Microsoft Flight Simulator, which constitute the larger base of flight sim enthusiasts today. And that is a fact. So after 3 years of development, A2A is finally in the game, and what a start for A2A to come up with the beautiful Comanche. Today we're not going to be focusing on the aircraft, on the wear and tear and things. Well, maybe we'll abuse the aircraft a little bit, but what we're going to be focusing on today is the real world flying and how this Comanche actually lives up to being the high fidelity aircraft that we all have been labeling it as. So we're going to see today how does it actually behave in accordance with, of course, the limitation of the sim. But of course, we're going to put Accu-Sim to the test today. And we're going to be performing a few things that I've learned in real life, having done real world flights. Now, I haven't flown a Comanche in real life, so just as a disclaimer, but I have watched numerous videos. I've read a lot about the aircraft, how it stalls. I've read about side slipping. I know most of you will probably know what a stall is, but maybe side slips is something that you got. A side slip and a forward slip is something that you guys, not all of you, probably know what it is. So I prepared a little Photoshop photo to try and explain this to you guys today. And we're going to be doing steep turns. We are going to be flying to a nearby airport. We are currently at Mountain Air Airport, and we're going to be flying to a nearby airport. And while en route, we are going to be performing stalls in a clean, dirty configuration. We're going to simulate as if we are doing a forward and side slips, and we're going to be doing steep turns as well. And we're going to see how the aircraft actually behaves. I'm not going to spoil anything because obviously I've been playing a lot with the aircraft. I've been flying it around and I've been doing different things with it. And I'm going to give you of course, my experience from a flight simmer perspective, but with some real world experience in flying and somebody who's done a lot of research so that I can bring this content to you guys and really test the Comanche, put it to a real test today. So what we're going to be doing today, we have the 430 device for the flight today. I thought it would be a little more authentic to fly with a Garmin 430 as opposed to a Garmin GTN 750. But if you guys like me to switch the devices, of course, all you have to say is Q8. Let's use the 750. Dougal McTavish, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here with us. Hangar Studios, welcome aboard, my friend. All right, so the first thing we are going to do, we are going to be performing the walk around. So we're going to simulate as if we were actually going to do a real flight today. So I'm going to remove the control lock and I'm going to lower the flaps. And then we can start the walk around from the tablet. So first thing, we're going to go to the walk around and let's see here. We're going to begin right here and we can check that the flaps are operational. The ailerons, free movement of the ailerons. And then we're going to check the fuel. This is the tip tank again, so we're not really concerned with the tip tank. We're not going to need that much fuel today for our flight, so I think whatever we have in the tanks is sufficient. And let's go ahead and check the fuel here. And it looks pretty okay to me. All right, perfect. And then we check the lights here, make sure they are in good condition. We can remove the tie down. And we are going to check the oil as well. Sorry, this is the main fuel tank. As you can see here, we have sufficient fuel in the tank. Excellent. And next, we can remove the chocks. And we'll check the fuel on the other side as well. Doesn't want to do this. Okay. The prop is in perfect condition. And now we can check the oil. The oil looks pretty clean to me. And we are good to go there. Excellent. And next we're going to check the main fuel tank on the other side. Again, we have sufficient fuel and you can see you can actually visualize the fuel in the tank. Excellent. That is done. Remove the chock. From this side, we're going to remove the pitot and the tie down. And next we check the lights here, make sure everything looks okay. And we're going to check the other tip tank. Again, we cannot visualize the fuel because we have, I think, 3 gallons of fuel. I haven't used it throughout all the testing that I've done. So yeah. Let's see here. Just made an 8-hour flight in the Comanche from BIIS to CYFB. Oh, how cool. That's a pretty nice route. All right. And we are done here. All right. So we can go back to the cockpit and we are, before we actually start our engines, we're going to come to the maintenance, and we're just going to do an inspection real quick here. Of course, we've done the walk around, but just to make sure, because I did abuse the aircraft earlier. And we're going to check the engine as well. Everything looks in the green for me. And by the way, one of the things that you'll notice is how the cylinder color changes. So in the tablet now, you see it as blue, meaning the engine is cold. But actually, this changes color as we start the engines. Again, very nice detail there by A2A. All right, perfect. So we've done all of that. We can remove this now. And let's go ahead and take a look at the tanks. We are going to select the main tank here. And we have about equal fuel in both tanks. We can switch them if we see any discrepancy between those. Let me remove the flight yoke here just to kind of see what's going on. And we're going to put the prop full forward, the mixture full bridge, and we're going to crack the throttle about 1/4 of an inch open, and rotating beacon light is on, and master switch is on. We're going to turn on the fuel pump and make sure that it works. I can hear the fuel pump. Fuel pump is good. Let's go ahead and prime the engine. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I think 4 is enough. And we can now put the magnetos, clear prop, and start the engine. There we go. Brilliant. We have a good start. We're going to reduce the throttle to about 1100 RPM. There we go, 1100 RPM. And we're going to lean the mixture so we don't mess up our spark plugs. Excellent. All right. All right, everything is good here, and everything is good here. Let's go ahead and turn on our avionics. Avionics master is on. All right, so while the avionics starts, let me first bring up the flight plan here. So our flight plan is actually very simple today. We are currently in Burnsville, Mountain Air Airport, 2 November Charlie 0. That's the FAA code for the airport. We're going to be tracking the Sierra Uniform Golf VOR station for the transition into new route into the Omox into Asheville Regional. That's an ILS approach. So the wind is favoring this runway 35, an ILS approach there at Asheville Regional. It's about 28 nautical miles, so it's a very short flight, but it should be sufficient for us to demonstrate whatever that we want to demonstrate. So we'll enter the flight plan in just a second here. Let me minimize this, make sure everything here is okay, and exit. All right, here's okay. All right, we'll say enter and okay, and now it's doing its search, and everything else is looking in tip-top shape. We can see the cylinder head temperature is still not in the green. Fuel, we're okay. Our systems here are looking okay. All aircraft indications are okay. Excellent. So it's acquiring the signal now, and finally we have the signal. So we are going to, we are currently at 2 November Charlie 0, and let's go ahead and enter that. So first we're going to come here and put in the first two hold on a second. Okay. All right, there we go. And 2 November, and then Charlie, and then 0. That's the one. Enter, and we are going to Kilo Alpha Victor and then Lima. All right, that's Asheville Regional. Enter that. Excellent. And we're going to go ahead and select the procedure. So the approach, we don't need an approach. Let me see here. So we want the ILS 35 and the SUG transition, Sierra Uniform Golf transition. That's the one here. And we're going to enter, and we're going to say load. It says GPS guidance is for monitoring only. Load the approach. Enter. Yeah, we're going to load the approach. And now we have our flight plan here. If we go and zoom out, you'll see that this is the approach into Asheville. What we're going to do, though, for the flight is we can actually select. You know what? Let's leave it on GPS. That's perfectly okay, and we can do things. We can maneuver around this. All right. So our flight plan is complete. Let's turn on our radios, And we're going to put the transponder on standby. Actually, let's go ahead and put it on. Let's test it first. Test is okay. And we're going to put it on altitude reporting. We're going to squawk 1200 today for the flight. And we're going to make sure our altimeter is set. The current, we are at an elevation of 4,300 feet here at Mountain Air. And everything is looking pretty good. All right. So let's do the run-up procedure before we head over to the runway. So let's take the RPM to 1700 RPM. Right, 1700 RPM it is. And then we're going to first check the magnetos. And we have a drop no more than 150. And then the right magneto. And the drop is about slightly more. But I think that's okay. I kind of noticed the sound wasn't right. That's probably because the mixture is leaned. If someone can only afford to purchase one GA aircraft and make it this one, it totally moves the goal post in this. Yeah, absolutely. This is by far the best GA aircraft in MSFS. Philippi Albuquerque, I agree with you. Is wear and tear modeling in this one? Yes, Gaber. It has full wear and tear, and if you abuse the aircraft, of course there is the organic wear and tear, if you will. So the aircraft ages with time, but also if you abuse the aircraft, that will actually show, and the aircraft will need to be repaired, and the engine needs to be repaired as well. So let's go ahead now and head over to the runway. We're going to be departing. Let's take a quick look here on the outside. The windsock favoring this runway, I believe runway 414, whatever. So let me retract the flaps. I don't think we need flaps for this departure. It's a long runway with a downward slope towards the middle. So that will give us some speed. And so we can go. Let me tune in just for fun. We're going to tune in the frequency of Sierra Uniform Golf into the radio here. So let's do that. So we're going to tune in 112.2. Okay, 112.2. Excellent. 112.2. And we're going to make that the active frequency. All right, perfect. All right, so before we depart, folks, let me explain to you, to the best of my ability, what is a slip. Okay, so from the name, it is a slip. So the aircraft actually slips. And there are two types of slips. There is a forward slip where the aircraft nose is to the right while the direction of movement is straight. Okay, so that is a forward slip, and of course it means that the wing needs to be brought down to the left, right? And you are going to use opposite rudder to compensate and fly the aircraft in this orientation. The side slip, on the other hand, by the way, in this particular configuration, and by the way, this is used to descend at a faster rate, and this is actually very rarely used, the forward slip. What's used more is the side slip, and the side slip, from an aerodynamics perspective and from the pilot and the pilot's seat perspective, they're actually exactly the same. They are performed in exactly the same way. However, as you can see here, the relative wind is a crosswind. It can be crosswind from the left or crosswind from the right. And to perform a side slip, you need to lower the wing into the crosswind. So if you have the wind coming from the right, you are going to lower the right wing into the crosswind, and you're going to compensate with left rudder in order to get the aircraft to move in this. So the direction of movement is going to be this way, because the wind is so in this case the aircraft is going to go that way, and in this, if the wind is coming this way, then it's going to fly in that direction. So so that's basically what a forward and a side slip is, and we're going to be trying to simulate this today crosswind pushing me all over while crossing Iceland. Yeah, that would be probably turbulence or gusting winds. I'm just doing my PPL, so this will be a must-have into my virtual hangar. Absolutely, Gaber. You will absolutely enjoy this aircraft. I will tell you that it's really, really a good aircraft to have. So, so this is basically a very quick, I hope my drawing is not too bad, but I used Photoshop right before the stream to just kind of illustrate what we mean by this and what we're going to try to simulate it. Now, again, one thing that I've learned about the stalls is that when the aircraft at the minute of, so you have your angle of attack, you know, the aircraft is going to lose lift because there isn't sufficient wind to lift the aircraft, so the wings will not be able to support the aircraft, and the aircraft then will do a free fall. And when the aircraft, at the minute the aircraft enters into the stall, it is actually it's very different in different aircraft, and most of the time you'll hear people say push the yoke or apply forward pressure on the yoke and give it full throttle, and that's actually incorrect. And when I spoke to hello there, Maja Anderson, welcome aboard, my friend. When we did this in real life, what Scott told me is this is actually not correct when you have an aircraft that has actual valves and pistons and you want to really protect the aircraft. And with a Comanche, just like the Bonanza, has a very powerful engine, and so you don't actually apply full power. What you actually do, you give it a little bit of power and you release the pressure as you are applying back pressure on the yoke to maintain the aircraft just right before it enters the stall. And if you actually just release the pressure on the yoke and give it a little bit of throttle, the aircraft should correct itself. And in accordance with all the videos that I've seen of a Comanche stall, a Comanche 250, that is the exact behavior that real-world pilots have performed to recover from stalls. What we're going to be doing now is we are going to be doing just that. So we are going to turn on the lights, landing lights, as strobe lights, and we don't need the pitos, so let's head over to the runway. Let me release I think the cylinder head temperature is, we got it there all the way to the middle. All right, so I've had it, yeah, I kind of got carried away with the explanations there. All right, parking brake released, and let's head over to the runway. Do we have something preventing us from moving? Maybe one of the tie downs? Let's double check. Here we have, now you see how the color has changed? Do we have, no, we don't have anything here. Everything's good. All right, parking brake is released. All right, let's see what's going on here. Why is the, we forgot one of them. See that one? All right. All right, that's fine. My bad. And control locks, tie downs. I think there we go. All right. All right. So, by the way, this is a really nice scenery of Mountain Air Airport. And we have this DX12 issue here. But that's okay. We can fix that in a minute. Very nice aircraft, the Comanche, and we're gonna really put it to the test today. Let me fix this issue with the. Hang on one second. We can just stop here for 1 second, and what we can do is do that. So if you get that issue, you can simply go to the area in the drone mode, and you'll see the textures loading again. There we go, and problems fixed. I just really can't stand it. All right, so here we go. Again, very nice scenery here at Mountain Air. Again, we need to fly into the wind, folks. So this is runway 14, and we're going to come to the far end of the airport. Now, one thing I've noticed is I'm going to show you this. I'm going to hold the left toe brake, and if I apply power, let me do this here. All right, so I'm going to give it power here, and with the toe brake, and you give it power, the aircraft actually turns. Again, very unlike the default aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator, where they just completely stop. So this one actually doesn't, which is very cool. All right, so we are ready for takeoff, and we are going to maneuver through these mountains ahead of us. We're going to climb to about 7,000 feet before we begin. I recommend DX12 so that you can have if you have an RTX 4090 or any NVIDIA card capable of frame generation, I definitely recommend that you have it on DX12. All right, so we are going to release the parking brakes, and let's go ahead and depart. All right, let me just put the mixture on full rich. There's a beautiful slope there, and 70 knots. Rotate. What a beautiful feel as you depart in the Comanche. Positive rate, and gears going up. And we didn't even need the flaps for the departure. We're going to continue our climb to about 7,000 feet. That should give us sufficient clearance to perform our stall, and the rest of the, the rest of the slips and turns, and hopefully you guys enjoy this. All right, here we go. By the way, we still don't get the VOR readings here, and that's because of the mountains ahead. Should be able to clear it. We'll continue our climb. So far, so good. And the hand flying the aircraft is just truly immense fun, I have to say. We need to reduce our prop to 1400 RPM. Right, that's close enough. Perfect. And we're going to continue the climb. Thank you, MC Crewfish. Welcome, my friend. Stutter. Tailwind takeoff. No, it's definitely not tailwind. Right, we're coming up to 7,000. And now we probably will be, yeah, now we can see the VR station, I think. All right. So we are here at 7,000 feet. We're just going to pass those mountains, and then we'll worry about the stalls and what have you. All right, so I'll just trim the aircraft a little bit. And as soon as we pass this area, then we can perform our stalls. Right, let's lean the mixture. All right, perfect. All right, so we're not going to worry too much about the plan right now, following the flight plan, because now I want to show you the stall behavior of this aircraft. So here, let's begin. What we're going to do now is we are going to idle the power and we're going to maintain the aircraft level, and let's see what happens. That's the landing gear warning horn, and I'm going to pitch just a little bit, slightly upward, to reduce the speed a little faster. Let's hold it. And here's the stall warning. And there you go, that's the stall. And the free fall, just exactly like it is in real life. Wow. I'll tell you guys, this is seriously wow. Let's do it again. And here we go, where I'm going to idle the power. And we're going to maintain the aircraft level. A little bit of back pressure on the yoke. Stall warning is now blinking. Look at the tolerance of this aircraft. And there you go. Yeah. Absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. It really flies like a real aircraft. Incredible, incredible detail and incredible realism. All right, so here's what I'm going to do now. We are in a safe speed to lower the landing gear, so I'm going to lower the landing gear. Right, landing gear is coming down. All right, down and locked. And now we're going to perform the stall again. And let's see what happens now with the landing gear down. Stall warning. Yeah. Very, very nice. Really, very, very nice. Just really love it. Just really love it. All right. Here's what we're going to do, folks. We are now going to reduce the power here. Let's retract the landing gear. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a steep turn to the left. So let's do that. Here we go. And that is a steep bank angle right there. We're going to maintain back pressure to keep the altitude. There we go. Keeping the altitude. Continue the turn. Try to maintain the altitude. And I'll tell you, this is a lot different from all the default aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Of course, we don't get the same feel that we do in real life, but when you do those steep turns in the other aircraft in Microsoft Flight Simulator, you don't get what you're seeing here. Again, the application of back pressure to maintain the altitude seems, you know, pretty reasonable. And the aircraft now recovers from the turn. It feels like the real thing. It feels like, at least it feels like a Bonanza when you do that. It definitely loves to fly. Yeah, it is very stable. It's a it is a very stable aircraft, and when you've got the ACE stabilizers installed as well. So here's, by the way, the all right. So now, if we want to do a side slip, and we are at a good altitude to perform the side slip, and we are not too far from the VOR station, so that's also good. So here's what I'm going to do. I am going to do a forward slip, and in the forward slip, what we are going to do, we are going to take the aircraft. So we're going to put the aircraft in a descent here, so nose down a little bit. That's a little too much. All right, so that's good. It's stable now. It's going, let me just trim the aircraft a little bit for downward movement. All right, so now what I'm going to do, I'm going to apply left rudder, and I'm going to pitch the aircraft. All right, I'm not sure, of course, from the pilot perspective, it's very different, but this is what is known as a forward slip. Where I have a full left rudder and we have the aircraft turning in the other direction. So we are actually, you can see that the speed is pretty stable, and you can see that we are descending quite fast, but the aircraft's speed isn't increasing. And that is exactly what we expect to see. We can reduce the power a little bit. There now here, this is exactly what a forward slip is like. The wing is lower to the left with opposite rudder, full right rudder, and the aircraft is doing exactly what it's supposed to do in a side slip. And you can see the rate of descent. You can descend as much as very, very steep descent. You can descend very quickly without increasing the speed. So on the stall and the slip, the aircraft does exactly what it's supposed to do, which is very, very impressive. The turns, the stall, the slip is just phenomenal. Very, very good. That is just really fantastic. It's very, very nice. And by the way, the aircraft isn't heavy on frames. Check the history of the Comanche before I get this word to find requirements needed to run. If you click on the in the stream description, you'll be able to find the link to the aircraft, to the A2A website. Just click there. All the details are there for you, and you can basically consult the manual there, and you can consult the page there for more information. All right, we can now go to the airport, and we can begin the turn here, and we're going to maintain about 4,000. And let's see if we have some crosswind over at our destination. Let's see here. So this is the localizer for the runway. Unfortunately, we don't have any crosswind, so we are okay. The ILS frequency is 110.5. All right, here we go. All right, we'll continue to fly straight. Lovely aircraft to hand fly. Lovely aircraft to perform stalls with. A good training tool, to be honest. Mike Coffee, hello, my friend. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. How much did you spend on the PC? On my PC? Could you do a 45-degree turn for 360 degrees? Curious how much aileron should you use to keep the altitude? I'm not sure. Turn for 30. Oh, okay. So 360 degrees. So you want me to? All right. Let's do that. I think we have sufficient altitude. So let's do that. All right. Well, here we go. 45 degrees. Beautiful. Yeah, it's probably, you'll feel very nauseated when you do that. All right, if we put in Let me put the ILS frequency in here, which is 1110.5. 111.5. All right, that 111.5 actually is the frequency. All right, so we'll put it here, and we'll put the distance 111.5. We'll make that the active as well. Excellent. And what is the approach course? The approach course is 347 degrees. Three, 4, 7. It's about right there. All right, perfect. We're going to head over now to the VOR station. And by the way, we can go to VLOC since we're not really using the GPS. I wish they did also the 6-seater Malibu plane. Have a good flight. Unfortunately, I need to... no worries at all, Stan. Take care, my friend. Yeah, it is definitely very nice, Gaber. It's a really nice, nice aircraft. All right, so if we go to the procedure here, and we can say activate the approach. Enter that. So approach is now activated. There we go. Excellent. And let's make sure we have our altimeter set properly. Just really a lovely aircraft. All right, so we need to be at 4,000. Excellent. By the way, there was an update for Microsoft Flight Simulator today. Does anyone know what the update is for? I haven't checked. I just fired up the sim, and it said an update is required. Let me descend the aircraft a little bit. All right, I think that's fine. All right, that's good. And let me switch this here. All right, so we do have the... There we go. Trim the aircraft a little bit. Explain, 312 is out now. Seems quite nice, but live weather causes some cloud artifacts for me. Really? Oh, that's good to know. I'll definitely check it out right after the stream. And maybe we'll do, you know, the next stream is definitely, it has to be Explain. Just really a lovely aircraft. Right. V1 is doing a Tolos A321M stream in about an hour, so they may have update. Oh, cool. Not heard such language before. Explain that's a... By the way, you can always, if you want to remove the sounds and they bother you, just click here and voila. Now you've got a quiet cockpit now. There is, by the way, so I've been speaking to Santiago from the CEO of Nimbus Simulations. They have, if you recall, Nimbus has created a number of sceneries, including Orlando, and they have the BN2 Islander for X-Plane 11 and now X-Plane 12 as well. And they are working on several projects. Unfortunately, I cannot say anything about the projects. And I had the pleasure of seeing screenshots of the project, but unfortunately, I really cannot say anything because, you know, the developer does not wish to announce those projects as of yet. But I'll tell you guys, you are in for a treat. From Nimbus for X-Plane 12. So yeah, something pretty cool is coming soon for Microsoft for X-Plane 12 from Nimbus Simulations. So yeah. Maybe I can tell you guys, grab icing and wing icing. I just bought the Tolus A321 and Neopack, and it really is amazing. Great training tool, especially those in-depth systems and failures. Absolutely. You know, a lot of the Airbus pilots, the real-world Airbus pilots, have attested to the accuracy of the Tolus aircraft, and they say that it pretty much flies like the real aircraft. So you know what? Let's where's the autopilot? Right, autopilot engaged, and what we'll do is we will maintain the current altitude. So alt engage. Let's engage the altitude, and let's go for nav low. There we go. And actually, let's go to GPS and flight plan, and we're gonna go to, oops, no, that's not what I wanted to do. Arrow, and there, activate, enter. There we go. Flight plan. And if we look here at the flight plan, this is Neuro here. So we're going to fly direct to Neuro. Let me use heading mode. Right, here we go. All right, perfect. Carb icing and wing icing, we don't really need them at this altitude, and if we look at the temperature here, But yeah, this is the carb heat. We can pull it on. Not really required though at this altitude and current condition. We have also the vents here, but I think we're good. I think you need it on for landing though. Right, let's go to low. Very nice area to fly around in the sim. Right, we can see here the approach into our destination. Very nice aircraft, really. And you know, with those stalls, so again, I think the ultimate test today, I can confirm to you that we have an aircraft that pretty much flies like the real thing in real life. And what we've witnessed today is testimony to the work that A2A has done on this aircraft. And the really, having really Accu-Sim is a big plus because it runs independent of the Microsoft Flight Simulator flight model. So everything that the aircraft does, the way it behaves, it does it outside of Microsoft Flight Simulator. So they are no longer limited by all the issues that you would normally encounter with you know, with Microsoft Flight Simulator. So, you know, kudos, really. They've done a brilliant job. Very, very good. Excellent, excellent work, really. Cannot check it by myself right now, but is this bird in MSFS store? I don't think so. I really hardly doubt that. You can only buy it this time from the A2A website, I believe. And the link is provided in the description of the stream, so you can just go there and download it. Right, we can select our current heading. So let me switch to heading mode. There we go. We're not too far from our destination now. We've pretty much done everything today. We've used the autopilot, we've done stalls, slips, steep turns, just about everything there is to do. And the aircraft performance has been admirable, without a doubt. That was a strange stutter right there. Alright, so the airport should be somewhere here. We're not too far from the airport now. I can see some PAPI lights there. Q8, your autopilot is not holding altitude. There should be a blue... Yeah, you are right. There we go. Alright, so now it should hold the altitude. Thanks for reminding me. I appreciate that. All right. We can now switch to the ILS frequency. So 1110.5 is the frequency here. And we can see the localizer. So the selected frequency, we're about 19 nautical miles now from the runway. So what we're going to do is we're going to turn to a heading of 300 for now. There we go. 300. Oops. Right, heading 300. All right, so heading 030. That's 330, 360. That's 030. And I just wanted to avoid the tip here, and then we're going to go back to the flight route here. All right, that's good. All right, now we can. All right, perfect. Three, four. Oops, why does it keep doing that? 347. 347. That's about right there. Okay, perfect. And about 347 here as well. 347. About right here. All right, and the airport should be ahead of us now. All right, and we're going to go for track high. Excellent. And that should put us on to the localizer. Heading not aligned with the compass. Right, here we go. Speed is good. Let's just give it a little bit more throttle here. All right, we can see the runway in sight, as you can see right there. And we're going to begin reducing our speed. We'll maintain the current altitude. Are you enjoying the Comanche as much as I am? Well, I don't know how much you are enjoying it, but I'm absolutely loving it. Thank you very much, Rand, for posting the link. I appreciate it. Q8, yeah. Hi there. You might not remember from your last stream, but I bought Navigraph subscription, and let me tell you, it was worth it. Thank you, sir. Well, Matthew, thank you, sir, for sharing your experience with everyone on the stream here today. That is very much appreciated. I'm glad that I was able to make a good recommendation for you, my friend. and I hope that you enjoy your Navigraph subscription. Like I said, you will not regret it, and it's just an excellent tool, and it makes things a lot easier and a lot more useful and more immersive. It really transforms your flight sim experience. All right, here we go. That's 3, 4, 7 right there. All right. Okay, we have the runway in sight. We're looking good. We're going to start reducing our speed now. What a lovely approach in the Comanche. All right. All right. So we are going to disconnect the autopilot. Autopilot disconnected. And I'm going to take over now. And we will just land the aircraft on the runway ahead, runway 35. Start reducing our speed. We'll use the visual guidance. We have the runway in sight. Nice clear day. Nice for a visual approach. And we have our landing lights. Strobe, all the lights are on. Fuel pump needs to go on for landing. Right, let's lower the... we need to reduce the speed a little further. Alright, we're going to pitch the aircraft a little bit. Just the trim. A little bit of turbulent weather here. So, alright, we're good here. Let's lower the landing gear. And we can now safely deploy the flaps. We have 2 reds, 2 whites. And flaps full. We're looking good. Reduce the speed to about 90 knots. All right, and we are safely on the ground. What a brilliant experience flying the Piper Comanche by A2A in Microsoft Flight Simulator. Just really brilliant experience. And today, folks, what we've done is a quick summary. We have gone through the complete startup procedure. We then took off from mountain air. We performed a stall in both the clean and dirty configurations. We've also performed side slipping. Actually, what we've done today is a forward slip, not a side slip. And let me just take you here, just show you how, listen to the sounds, how they're different when you're over the dirt and the grass versus the asphalt. Again, this is all Accu-Sim. Look at, just really brilliant. Very, very nice. Very nicely done. We're just gonna, here, let's do it again. We'll go, where is that? Let me go through the dirt here. Now, just notice the difference. Very, very cool. And of course, we've done a few steep turns, 45-degree turns as well. And then we finally came here to land. We've also used the autopilot system in both heading mode, track mode. And if you haven't seen my initial stream, the first look review stream, please go ahead and take a look at it. It will give you a good understanding of how to operate the autopilot. And yeah, we are back here and we are safely landed. And the Comanche is without a doubt the single most realistic aircraft or GA aircraft available today for Microsoft Flight Simulator at $50. So it's $49.99 or $49.95. I think this price is actually, how should I say? I would actually pay more for I think it's worth more than that, to be very honest with you. But I think again, you know, a word of appreciation to A2A for not really changing an arm and a leg for this high fidelity rendition of the Comanche for the sim. I do appreciate that. And they have placed it at a very reasonable price so that wider audience can afford it. So, folks, the final verdict is that the Comanche by A2A performs stalls, slips, as well as turns very much in accordance with real life, with a real life counterpart. It is really an amazing aircraft, beautiful aircraft to hand fly, immense fun to learn. And while it is easy to learn, it is difficult to master. But I absolutely recommend this aircraft with confidence. Right, let's go ahead and turn things off here and shut down the aircraft. Avionics Master
you need
is
to set
off.
Parking brakes to request ground services.
Okay, and we can turn all the lights off. Fuel pump can go off. And we can bring the prop back, mixture, and let's set our parking brake here. And then the magnetos can go to the off position. Master switch is off. Let's remove the headset. We're going to come here and turn off the fuel tank as well. And you can see how the cylinder temperature is now going down. And you'll see the color change, by the way, in the control here as well. If you go to maintenance, you see how now it's yellow. So it was blue. It became red after we started the engine. And now it's turning yellow. And then eventually it will go back to blue, meaning the engine is cold. So we can go here to the controls. We can set the wheel chocks, tie down, control lock, pitot cover, and we'll leave the door. We'll make sure everything's good here. The aircraft is secure before we leave. And we're going to also retract the flaps. And we are good to vacate the aircraft and head home. Yeah, hopefully we haven't lost our keys or left them at Mountain Air, and we can get in the car and go home now. All right. Well, Gaber, thank you very much, sir. Just bought it from A2A. Well, congratulations on your purchase, Gaber. I give you my absolute assurance that you will absolutely enjoy the A2A. And Gaber, I'm going to extend it to you. Sim Fanatic is in the house, ladies and gents. Thank you very much, Sim Fanatic, for being here. I'm glad that you enjoyed the live stream. And Gaber, as a member who's bought the A2A in accordance with a recommendation from Q8Pilot, here's the thing. If you do not like the aircraft for any reason, you have the Q8Pilot guarantee, which means that I will refund you the money that you paid for it. I'll give you $50 if you don't like the aircraft. Really enjoyed that at Q8. Thanks a lot. Sorry I couldn't make it yesterday's stream. You flew over my home city. We'll definitely need to finish watching it back. Well, Drashal, thank you, sir, for all the support you've been extending to the channel and all the support and being a member, being a moderator, for all your help. I appreciate each one of you guys for being here this evening. I hope that you've enjoyed this stream as much as I enjoyed streaming it for you. Thank you very much, SimFanatic, for being here. And guys, please, SimFanatic is starting his channel. He's almost at 6,000 subscribers, and this is only testament to the great content that he creates and the friendly environment that he creates over at his channel. Please do visit SimFanatic and give him a few hundred likes and subscribes if you will. That will make me very happy if you can support SimFanatic. So until next time, guys, please take care of yourselves and each other, and I will see you all very soon. Stay safe. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye for now.